Alright, so this is the second face-off of the game against the Raccoons. Face-off win by Michael, our sub for the day. Couple things that we kind of want to touch upon is right here we have the face-off win, and we want to expect our D to start to get open on the opposite side, and same with the winger. So how it would work for the opening draw is the wingers just go straight to the D, and here's Jeanette, our other sub for the day. She's going to go up to the D. Now the moment you get up there, you can take a look around and see that, okay, we have the puck and it's moving in this direction. Then you can start getting towards the boards and getting open. So I would have liked to see Carrie-Anne get there first, but now here it's a bit of a foot race. And so a little bit of a struggle going on there, but it's fine. And it really just starts with getting that kind of first step into location. Now, you could say, yeah, alternatively, it could be myself, I could carry it back there, but with the pressure coming in from the winger already, it's a tough, like, it could be a forced turnover right away, and it would be better if a D was on the opposite side. So let's continue. Let's kind of see how we recover from here. Little chip back, and that's gonna buy us some time. You can see the two forwards coming in to close off that space, so naturally that means this is probably going to be open. And let's continue. Just off the mark, probably a little bit too much pressure, but that's fine. And three options, just kind of missed all of them, but you know, that's okay. So something I would like to see more of is the moment we go on the rush is where our forwards, Jeanette, Lena, are also going to be coming in with speed. Now, I'll just kind of talk about what I mean by that. So we've coming into the zone, but we can see Jeanette's kind of gliding. Lena is probably coming in at about half speed. Now, let's rewind this a little bit. One of the things that can help for you, Lena, is turning on a bigger arc. So you're very tight turn right here. So that means you're not going to be able to carry a lot of speed coming in, right? So it's going to be like boom, tight turn, and then you're going to have to work extra hard to build any kind of speed. So if you had like some speed, you can always just kind of make a little bit of a large arc. If you can throw in crossovers, that's going to be like the next step up, but don't kind of worry about that. So maybe, yeah, actually, you know what? We can actually use Jeanette as an example. So she has a decent amount of speed. She's gotten back into the defensive zone quite a bit, right? She is still gliding, but kind of watch how, because of this wider arc, she's able to just kind of hold on to that speed a little bit more. So it's clear that she's moving faster than Lena, right? And that really kind of just starts with having a wider turn. And then, yeah, if we can get the players into the zone, it would be more ideal, but that is fine. We got a banana peel. Oh, that's a big banana peel. Oh my goodness. All right, here's one very important for RD. Very important for RD. Maybe more so for Alex. Let's not block Cliff when there's a guy to cover on the back door. Right? Yikes. I mean, you blocked it with a foot, but, you know, making his life more difficult. Oh my gosh, that looked like you're gonna kill her for a second there. All right. This one is a very interesting one to kind of talk about. Okay, so especially for our red tapes, for our slower red tapes, you see they're in excellent position, and then now You see Alex building up all his speed. You think, oh my god, he's so fast. I'm gonna need to join him. And number one, like you can see, right hand is trying to pivot backwards, perfectly fine. You know, lost like edge a little bit there, and then get a pass up. And the question, like a very common question when we're like there's this huge speed differential, huge skill differential, is what? No, like what on earth am I supposed to do, right? And if you get better, you can start doing your backward skating, this and that, pivots, blah 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 blah, and then join in on the rush. But we're not quite there yet, and it's going to be very difficult. So what I personally like to suggest is it's going to be super counterintuitive, and that is if he comes up with speed, he comes up with speed. You let him go, but you're going to want to go forward. You're actually going to go counter direction, and then you're going to turn and then go with him. So you're going to come behind him, but you're going to want to skate as fast as you can to follow after him. Now, you know, the counterintuitive part is you're skating this way. But what does that allow you is, number one, if you're just not going to, like, number one, you're not going to be able to match his speed. That's just period. Like, if Alex decides to go full tilt, you're no chance. However, what this kind of opens up to is, you see how even if you got this pass, all these players that are chasing after Alex is going to come right to you. He's just led you to the slaughterhouse, and because you have no speed, you're in big trouble, right? So they're just going to come and poke you and make your life miserable. However, how does going backwards help you in any way? Okay, that's a good question, right? So if you get it on the way back, there's a pass to you, you're going to go this way, and now it's super awkward for all these guys that are like skating as hard as they can to chase after Alex. They're going to go by you, so you're going to come down. Now you have all this time to turn around with the puck and then make your way up ice. So it's a little counterintuitive for sure, but that's what I recommend on a situation like this. It's really awkward, I know, because you just see this guy coming up, building all these crossovers, all his speed, and you think, oh my god, I really need to catch up with him. But don't worry about that. Go back and then come back and chase after it. And then with Jamie, she can come up with speed, and we should also expect centermen to come in with them, helping out. So whenever a defenseman attacks, typically I would like all three forwards to go with him, so it's a 4-person situation, and the defenseman without the puck stays back. Now obviously be a little bit more cautious, don't just go full tilt, especially like center, don't go like all the way in, but be a passing option and then be ready to attack. Don't just kind of lazily skate up the ice. Yeah, all right, this play pretty funny. So Steve's coming up and then drops it off pretty slow. But the biggest offside in the world. Oh my goodness. Okay. Notice something. Rayhan is trying to straddle the blue line. Better. Definitely better. So it's a skill to work on. Again, wider. If you can, wide stance. Bend those knees more. And then you can use the C cuts. Again, we'll just recap: one step on the ice, one on the other side. So the only thing I would adjust is, like, you're turning along that blue line, which is a good thing, but you just got to really make sure this foot stays on to the white part of the opposite side of the blue line. You see how you crossed over a little bit. So, but then you see how you've maintained some speed. So that's kind of really the trick. Just practice. That's all it's going to be. All right, I got brought up a good question about how to handle line changes. So Jamie had a few questions, and then we can see here right hand staying a little bit longer. So for generally speaking, we want to make sure, like, well, we want to aim for about 1.5 minutes shift times. 2 minutes is probably getting on the long side. And if you are really skating like hard and working hard, you're gonna probably be gassed out. Now, that's number one. Number two, for the really beginner red tapes, I'd say whenever you're tired, like anytime, just go for a change. Whenever you feel like it's a long shift, go for a change. Don't worry about anything else that's happening on the ice. Because if you're tired and I guess quite frankly we're a little bit slower skaters, right? Tired and slow skaters trying to play deep is probably just an absolute disaster. So if you're like really tired and it's getting long shift, just go for a change. Don't worry about it, right? Now when you get better, we can worry about, oh, we're on defense, we should probably go play defense, this and that, okay? And number three, you don't need to wait for a whistle, right? So a lot of people, they play and play and play and play, and then the whistle doesn't even come 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, right? It can happen, and they don't change until a whistle. You don't need to do that. So those are the couple items on the shift changes. No, and then, you know, as you kind of get in the groove of that, we can kind of go over more about it, but that's in general for our beginner red tapes for the shift changes. And trust me, 1:30 is going to feel really, really short when you first do this. But it's gonna, I guarantee you, it's going to help with the flow of the game. For you guys way more. You can push yourself way harder. So that's just kind of something to consider, and that's kind of what you want to think about for your line changes. So here's a funny play. Jeanette stops the puck. I guess a little bit of flip-floppy on the left and right hand side, but that's fine. She's gradually moving over here, and so Michael gets it, gets chased down by Mark, and he gets absolutely sent off into the shadow realm and lost. Now here, exactly what I was kind of talking about with our forwards, getting into the zone. So number one person, so in this case is going to be Jeanette, wants to get to the net as fast as they can and not cruising like this, because otherwise it's super easy to defend. You can see like that. And then with Lena, don't be too focused on right side, left side, any for general. So again, with that puck is on this left side of the ice, if you're the third forward coming in, never hurts to just come across and then cruise in behind and get into this kind of area. So this general vicinity, and then it's actually going to be more shaped like a house. So it's like boop boop in this area, and then ideally cut the ice in half. You kind of have a bias towards this kind of section rather than the opposite side. And that really just kind of gets you away from this and puts you in a really nice area to shoot from. All right, here is one shot, right? Well, pass and then gathered up. Number one definitely should have gone behind the net, but locations, positioning, where does everyone want to go? Once we have that puck, we need to see our wingers, boom, straight to the boards, straight to the boards. And then D partner wants to get into one of the corners. So in this case, probably want to have carry on that right-hand corner or left, whatever, closer to the Zamboni door. And then also over here. And then the center, again, we want to be somewhere nice and close by so we can do a chip pass if we really want to. However, so what is the thing? We can see double pressure on the forecheck. So just going to do a quick up the boards. We see there's a lot of room over there, and not a single forward is over there to gather it, but it's out of the zone. So, right, positioning, we can get the puck out. It starts with positioning. Little demonstration, perfect for, in this case, I mean, the positioning I would have preferred to be on the boards, but okay, let's ignore that. Let's go back. What I wanted to highlight is the body positioning, where I said, if as long as you're skating towards the puck carrier, it's going to make your life a lot easier, right? So Jeanette skating towards it, easy target, stick on the ice. I can aim it for the, like, it's just going to be really easy, and then all you have to do is gather and turn around, right? Nothing too difficult about that. Alright, so right here, pass interception, and I guess it's the same story for the Raccoons. You see how this player has his back turned, very hard to get a pass to them. So kind of emphasis of going back, of facing the puck carrier. And if you can't backward skate, to just forward skate. And in any case, we're going into the zone. Oh, and then here is the thing again. We mentioned, you see how Lena goes for a full complete stop, and then before turning and going back. Just means you got to put in more work. Versus, let's take a look at Jeanette. She goes for the large sweeping turn, so she has some motion. It's just about energy saving, and then as you get faster and faster, you won't get as tired. And in here we get to see her first goal. Boom! The joke seemingly was that she got her first goal, but not playing for her own team. And so we are up 1-0. Alright, we're about to see the play that leads to our second goal for her. So Steve's getting absolutely hounded, builds up the speed, escapes a check, and gets the puck up. They back up and give Rayhan some space, of which he was able to go in and score. So he is on a roll today. So coming up is a structural defensive lapse, I would say. So Jeanette has come all the way downtown to help out, and we really don't need it. Because if you count the numbers, it's 4 attackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we already have 3 attackers, and we already have 3 defenders. So Carrie Ann's right here behind the net, myself and Michael. So there's no reason for us to add an extra player, and especially going behind the net. So we're definitely deep in the zone. Sometimes it makes sense to come down and help out if it's generally in this kind of area, but we want to try to avoid going down all the way down to behind the goal line. Now, why is that a problem? Okay, well, here is a very clear indication. So the puck eventually comes back to Jeanette, and she is our left wing, which would have wanted to be all the way up here, and she tries to throw it out of the zone. I guess that's kind of a panic pass, we can call it that. And so the problem is now it's a turnover. She's deep in the zone, and because this is the defenseman that she would have typically been defending, lefty with the right D, right? This player has kind of a free space to work with until someone's able to go up there, and so it allows for a shot on net. So that's kind of a little bit of a problem right there. So a continuation of the defensive problems. So here, hustling together, and spaghetti-o, many people caught onto the wrong side of the ice, and so we see a red tape come in, and I thought, okay, let's just give Cliff the open vision to see the puck rather than following another red tape and stick lifting them. should be fine. Turns out it was not fine. And so they score. It is now 2-1. Now let's kind of explain. So, you know, obviously number one was too many people doing some flybys right here. And so, boom, 3 players on the wrong side of the puck. And then, yeah, on one chance, like one obvious one is I didn't follow the red tape behind to kind of tie them up. That's fine. It's not like a big deal. Normal in a co-ed league it'd be a big defensive mistake, but you know, give the red tape some chances. And then with Cliff, I feel like if he was able to keep his stick, like you see how he goes for the slide, which is not a problem, but then because his stick is all the way out here, he like there's nothing to stop anything from going between his legs. So that's probably the only thing for Cliff, and since he's interested in seeing that. Alright, here's an interesting one. So Steve dumps it in. That's kind of a continuing topic from when we were talking about when to change. If you're feeling this shift is long, as long as you pass this blue line, you can actually go and just throw the puck into the zone and then go for a change just like they're doing right now, and it gives you some free time to do so. This is so funny to watch. So Dave, powerhouse. Okay, let's actually rewind back to like here. So he gets it, he's getting forechecked like crazy, powerhouses through,
Order filled.
and then still going through, and then that's when Andrew's like, alright, enough of this, and absolutely shuts him down.
Order filled.
So something I'd like to see from Carrie Ann is, so let's ignore the whole whiff of the pass right here, is boom, she gets the puck, and look at all this ice that she's able to operate with. And I'd like to see her kind of make more use of it by just skating it in closer towards the net. You'll see right here, she skates in a little bit, but decides to take a shot from here. And you can see how there's still so much space for her to work with. She can go down, round, she can go in the middle, up, and get closer to net, look for a pass, but decides to shoot and gets blocked there. So I think that's kind of one thing that I'd like to see. Alright, here is a defensive cascading lapse. So defense on forward, perfectly fine. Winger not on D. Winger not on D. Center not on forward. All our forwards are in the wrong spot. So there is a very, very clear mismatch. So typically speaking, Carrie Ann should be covering this player, center should be covering this player, Lena on this player, and then Jeanette on this player. I'd say 2 players are not really defending who they should be defending, but you know, Jeanette clears the puck and it ends up working out. But yeah, pretty clear defensive coverage problem. Alright, starting from here, positionally for our forwards, a bit tough. So we have firm control. Jamie should get to the boards, and then generally in this area, same with you, Rayhan, getting towards the boards. And then only once the puck starts moving up, then you can move off away from it. But let's continue watching. Same with Steve. Steve's jumping the gun too early. At this point, like, he's going over to where Jamie should be, but where he should be is in this area. So ideally, you can see how as Alex is moving up, he should be moving in with him, maybe behind, maybe above, but really, really, really close support. And really the problem becomes is right here. So if Steve was here, easy backhand pass, boom, right into the races, right? But now, as everyone's funneling Alex towards the boards. You can kind of see the problem, right? It has to bounce it out, and it's a turnover. This is pretty funny. Banana peel. So Lena almost had a chance to get an assist right here when Michael passed it up. If only he scored this. So Lena, you can blame Michael for not getting assist. Alright, this play right here, pucks in the offensive zone, right? So why are you like, did you want to check on Cliff's breath or something? Like, what? This is a really, like, we're here to, you got to practice your gap control. Yeah, positionally this is really bad. Like, it's one thing to be giving red tape space, but this is like just not, yeah. Gotta work on that, Alex. And I guess Dave, I would say probably you're too conservative as well. Alright, but doesn't matter. Puck rings around the Rosie, and the puck gets turned over right there, and Steve goes on a race up the ice, passes it across, misses, and yet somehow still gets it in. The goalie wasn't able to seal off the post, unfortunately. Let's rewind right here. Let's see who did anyone get the assist? No, looks like it is Dave to Steve to Dave. Alright, so right here, I love that Jamie has jumped up, but they have a penalty. So what is the penalty? Boom, you see the stick way up in the sky. In case anyone doesn't know, if you cannot have the stick above the crossbar, and if you touch the puck, it's an automatic penalty in this league. So just be careful, it's just for safety's sake. Alright, last 2 minutes of the game. I skipped the power play, it wasn't too exciting. Kind of go over how big defensive lapse. This guy should have never been open. Let's take a look. Rewind the clock. What's going on? A lot of forwards down, so helping out. I guess it's not the worst thing, but don't need to stay down there for too long. At this point, this play should have been for Alex, and this player maybe for Michael, and then yeah, this is probably Dave, but I can understand. So this transition across is where it gets tricky. Alex falls behind, big mistake, and then Dave helps out, and so 24 is left open. Yeah, not pretty. A lot of chances right there. So minute 42 left. Let's see how we continue. Pass out in front and shut down. Sent back down low. All right. Probably about a minute 30 left or less. Oh no. Gotta get those passes tape to tape, Steve. Pass across, dangerous pass. Should have just sent it down low. So should have definitely sent it down this way, but definitely a dangerous pass. My goodness. Living life on the edge. Probably about 30 seconds left. for a minute. 30 seconds. All right, shot on net, save, covered up. Skip ahead. So it should be Jamie up there. Yep. Doing a good job getting up there. Sent in the corner. Back around. Yep. Coverage is much better this time around. And sent out. Excellent job. 13 seconds left. And just killed the clock. So 3-1 win against the Greenhorns.